Sometimes people are making investment moves based on their tax strategies and not based on when it's best to enter and exit out of the market.
What's the biggest frustration that you've seen with capital gains tax deferral when it comes to cryptocurrency and, maybe not wanting to move to Puerto Rico and wanting to be able to time these market cycles?
I think one of the frustrations would be that you're going to have to pay tax and therefore you don't sell your positions, right? Sometimes people are making investment moves based on their tax strategies and not based on when it's best to enter and exit out of the market, right? And so I know even some people that didn't exit from a tax standpoint, but ultimately had lost a lot more in portfolio, percentage wise.
Absolutely, right? I mean, and we call it letting the tax tail wag the timing dog. Like, I would imagine that a lot of people would say, "Can I defer, my taxes on the sale of my Bitcoin, capital gains tax in a legal way with, that's been proven and that's worked and that's actually being done, versus, just holding on." In fact, the one client who did 50,000 to 50 million, we exited at 54,000 a coin. Went to 60 and 65,000 a coin. And I said, "Hey, we can exit some more. We can exit some more." She goes, "No, I'm going to keep waiting, right? Long term, and by the way, bigger since she hadn't even sold before. She had never sold a single Bitcoin, right? From 50,000 to 50 million. And she said, because I believe in the long-term future, but number one. Number two, the tax was so big. And number three, I didn't have a great place to put it into until I had a business venture with a partner of mine. So we ended up making sense of the Deferred Sales Trust, but they don't have that clear exit plan, right? And they don't have that flexibility. And we do solve that, by the way. If people want to learn more about that, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. You can check out the Deferred Sales Trust, and you can hear and see all of that. But I mean, I'm curious, Joe. You've been in some tax strategies in real estate, and of course, done 1031 exchanges, right? What is your take when you've done 1031 exchanges, right? And what would it mean if you could have a 1031 exchange for cryptocurrency?
Man, I mean, we kind of did a few years ago. I think it was before 2018 until they kind of nipped that in the butt. But I think, having a 1031 exchange framework around crypto obviously would be very beneficial, especially if you could, include stable coins in that, right? So you could actually exit your certain positions into stable coins and still be considered a 1031.
Right. So again, little self plug here too. So with the deferred sales trust, you can sell, defer the tax, and check it out, Joe. The money can go into real estate ventures with you, passive or actively, right? So you can exit the crypto, defer the tax, and then the funds in the trust can go into an LLC, which can go into business ventures, development deals. To me, this is awesome, right? Because I had a client, he exited a business at 2.6 million, and he wanted to build 72 multifamily units. And so he was able to do that tax deferred by exiting the business with the deferred sales trust. So it's kind of like a 1031 exchange. I mean, it's not perfect, right? 1031 is like kind for like kind, 45 180. But the ability to get into the real estate game, all tax deferred with the money, is a powerful way. And so that being said, are you still buying real estate right now? What's your and if you were to buy real estate, do you feel like it's going to be multifamily? Is it going to be in North Carolina? What are you looking at?
I mean, the only stuff I have going on, I'm calling around, but I'm just not seeing the opportunities I would like to see, put it that way. And I'm still not seeing quite the cracks to really understand where that opportunity lays in the next couple of years. I'm kind of in the position that real estate's going to correct quite a bit over the next year or two, and that ultimately we may have a somewhat flattish period, at least for years to come. Because I think, just over the last couple of years, the run up is going to take time to kind of deflate and then consolidate, and maybe in the next 5 years not much happens because the prices are pretty high, I still think.
And then you're saying that when you say real estate, do you mean like residential versus like
I
multifamily
think
versus
all of
like
it.
all of it? Just in general, you feel like it's all kind of been high and it's gonna recorrect and kind of settle down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
Yep.
that's my position. I know everyone over the last years, and that's kind of contrarian. Everyone's talking about this supply and demand problem
Mhm.
continuously, but I think that also only makes sense if there's 2.5% interest rates and certain things. If economy slows or there's less jobs, that changes that demand side.
Mhm.
And I think everyone's on that same side of trade. I think there's a more correction to happen here, and like I said, not much is going to happen in the next few years.
Awesome.